27 years ago was the last time I bought or sold a house. And now here I am 27 years later, and I'm doing it again, and actually accomplished it. A lot has happened in the last 27 years, some of which you keep your ear to the ground relative to market conditions, the viability of the marketplace, the values, the interest rates. You think you know a little bit about everything, but in order to do myself the justice and get the best price possible for my house in Placentia, California, I solicited the services of Ron Arnold and his team over at Keller Williams in Yorba Linda, and it was a decision that I'm extremely grateful that I did. Ron was very thorough in coming over to my home and looking at it from upstairs, downstairs, room to room, backyard, sprinkler to sprinkler, and garage area, storage, utilitarianism of the house. He also was very impressed with the condition of the house, and he brought with him at that time a lot of information relative to the market conditions, not only in my immediate neighborhood, but also within the greater context of the community. And he came prepared with some information that really knocked my socks off. Very analytical information that I myself appreciated because it gave me the opportunity to look at things with a different set of eyes. What's working, what's not working, how is the market reacting to the current economic situation, and taking those things into consideration, understanding where to price the house at in order to attract the most buyers possible and ultimately get the most offers possible. So after a 2-hour engagement with Ron, we had the opportunity to now pick a price for the property. But before we did that, Ron asked me something that was very interesting, and I will never forget it. He said, "What is your plan?" And I kind of looked at him and I said, "What do you mean? I thought you were going to come to me with a plan." He said, No. He said, "I want to know what your plan is. What is your timeline? When are you looking to put it on the market? How quickly are you looking to get the house sold? Where are you moving to?" Understanding the dynamics behind my story in order for him to better appreciate the total context of putting the house on the market. And I thought that was very interesting because I expected him to kind of sit down, at least in my opinion, having somebody sit down and say, "Here's my plan." Well, instead he asked me, "What is my plan?" And I really appreciated that. So after we had that nice conversation, we sat down and talked about the numbers, and the pricing was the next issue on the table. And it was fantastic that he came in with some suggestions that at first I wasn't sure if I was in agreement with them, but ultimately it was the perfect strategy. We priced it in such a way that it gave the potential shopping community the opportunity to realize the value of this property, and also once they got there to appreciate that the price was not only reasonable, but it had a lot more to the home, behind the scenes relative to the amenities, to the upgrades that were in the house that aren't necessarily captured on the pictures and the descriptions, by the way, which they did a beautiful job with that. But to have people come in that otherwise might not have come in because the price might have been set too high was really key. And as a result of that, we got offers even before the opening day of the open house. We had private showings coming in beforehand, and ultimately sold the house to one of those private showings prior to the open house. And we ended up getting $127,000 above asking price, or the list price. So it was just fantastic to draw in people with a price point that was attractive for them to look at, affordable for them to consider, but once they got there, understood that there's a lot more to this home than meets the eye. So job well done by Ron and his pricing strategies, and it worked out fabulously. The detail by which Ron and his team went to work and the efforts that they went through were also nothing short of fantastic. The photographers that they brought in to not only stage the home, which they had done beautifully, but also capture the essence of the home with the photography, both daytime videos or daytime pictures, but also coming back in the evening and taking nighttime videos and pictures of the backyard in the illuminated landscapes and some of the nuances that you don't necessarily capture at the daytime. Also engaging with drone footage to really show the dynamics of the neighborhood. I happen to have this home that was located near a park, walking distance, and for the drone to capture the surrounding area and the proximity from the house to the sports park was another over-the-top extra that really, I think, helped draw in additional people. The open houses were fantastic. We had 90 people on the first day, we had 70 people on the second day, and the open house was in late April, and we just closed and signed escrow here in late May. So the whole thing went very expeditiously, 30-day from open to close, paperwork signed, money in the bank. Party is extremely happy to have bought the house, and I'm extremely happy that I'm moving on to another chapter of my life. But I wouldn't have been able to accomplish that without Ron Arnold and his fantastic team over here at Keller Williams. So if you're considering selling your house, I strongly suggest that you reach out to Ron Arnold and his team.